You know, Jesus in the Gospel of Matthew, he says that by, by their fruits you shall know them. You know, I mean, what Jesus said in John 8:31 through 36, if you're truly my disciples, you will continue in my word, in my sayings, my teachings. And if you do, you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. Well, the Jews thought he was talking about servitude to man, but Jesus, after that, says, he who commits sin is the servant of sin, the slave of sin. And a servant, a slave, doesn't remain in the house forever, but a son does. King James rendered it the son, but he's making a contrast between a servant and a child. He says, and then following in verse 36, he says, and whoever the Son shall make free shall be free indeed. I mean, Paul's describing the same thing in Galatians chapter 4 when he talks about an heir, as long as he's a child, differs nothing from a servant, though he be Lord of all, but is under tutors and governors until the time appointed of the Father. He says, likewise we, when we were children, were in bondage under the elements of the world until the fullness of time came, when God sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law, that he might redeem us who were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons. And because we are sons, he has sent forth the Spirit of his Son into our hearts. I mean, we got to understand the truth. You know, unless we are born of him in water baptism, where the body of sins dies with him. And that's where it's also given life, because that's where we're born of him. That's why he describes it as many as were baptized into Jesus Christ in Galatians 3:27 have put on Christ, clothed themselves with Christ. And he's not talking about the Holy Spirit, because Jesus is the Christ, not the Holy Spirit. I mean, we need to understand. We need to understand the truth. We must be born of water and the Spirit, because it is the Holy Spirit of promise that gives us power to be his witnesses and for obedience. You know, and people claiming to be saved and refuse to be water baptized and think that you don't have to be water baptized, there shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. It will be a very sad day for those people, because Jesus told Nicodemus, a ruler of the Jews, unless a person is born of water and the Spirit, they cannot enter into